Happy New Year and welcome to the channel. I want to state something that to me is very important that you are aware of. I never finished high school. I've been out of school for over 3 decades. I am not a professor, obviously. I am not a scientist. I am a hardcore enthusiast that's only recently gotten into the world of astrophysics and all things that have to do with just the universe in general, from anything from talking about pyramids, the Bermuda Triangle, how black holes function, this, that, and the other thing. I have notes. I'm not going to hide that I have taken for 2 reasons, because I don't have everything memorized. I'm not Stephen Hawking. I'm not Brian Cox. I'm not Neil deGrasse or Einstein. Far from it, never will be any of those people, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a passion. It doesn't mean that I don't want to learn. And I've just recently read about 4 books, and I had never read a book in my whole life. And now I've already read some books, like I said, predominantly on this kind of stuff, astrophysics. But my channel is not just astrophysics, although it'll probably have a strong emphasis on it. So let's just get into it. That way, you know, I'm not trying to hide anything. That way, if you see me do a lot of this, it's because I'm referencing my notes. I just want to be clear and candid about that. That way it sets the expectation. This is not a lecture. This is pretty much more of a learn with me. Hey, did you know this? You know, I just found this out a couple of days ago. Holy shitballs kind of thing, right? That's what this is all about. And then hopefully, as I grow and I get more educated, then I would like to think, as I'm rambling 100 miles an hour right now, looking directly into the camera, I'll be able to tell you some stuff without ever having to do that. And that will be amazing. If that ever happens, hopefully it does. So let's just get into it. Most of us see the moon as just a light in the night sky, but without it, Earth wouldn't be the planet that we know today. The moon quietly shapes our oceans, our days, and even our seasons, and even life itself, to a degree that I think not everybody is aware of. So here are some powerful things that the moon does. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous for this type of channel for some reason. Okay, let's get into it. The moon controls the Earth's oceans, as a lot of us already know. The moon's gravity pulls on the Earth's ocean, creating tides, but it's deeper than just high tide and low tide. Without the moon, tides would actually be dramatically weaker. Like, I mean, pretty much non-existent. Ocean mixing would be slowed down, and that would actually affect marine life. And early life may never have evolved, actually, without tidal zones. That point right there I'm going to elaborate on, but at the end of the video I'm going to get into some pretty in-depth details about that very specific point, about the early life and the evolution of stuff. In many ways, the moon helped life get started on Earth. The moon stabilizes the Earth's tilt. The Earth is on a 23.5 degree tilt, which gives us seasons. For most places that I have visited, I have a friend in Florida who, like 365 days a year, is like, hey, look what I'm doing. I'm barbecuing. I'm in my swimming pool. Great. But for the most part, lots of places... Well, no, they still technically have seasons, but you know what I mean. Not seasons like in Canada or northern U.S. or other places around the world. I definitely get four full seasons. So, the moon acts like a stabilizer, keeping that tilt steady, by the way. Without the moon, the Earth's tilt would wildly shift. Things would actually be pretty chaotic. Climate would swing between extreme heat and cold. Seasons, as we know, would potentially not even exist to begin with. So that's what the moon does. It quietly just keeps the world from being incredibly chaotic. The moon is actually slowing Earth down a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Because the Earth used to spin much faster than it actually does today. The moon's gravitational pull is slowly acting like a brake. Days were once only a few hours long. Wow, that sucks. You go to make a sandwich, take a shower, boom, it's the next day already. Holy shit. I would not like that. The moon causes the Earth to lose rotational energy, and our days are actually getting 1.7 milliseconds longer every century. So essentially, I'd have to be like 500,000 years old just to get those extra couple of hours I wish I could get in my day, so that I could get everything that I would like to get done in my routine. That's never going to happen, obviously. So time itself is being shaped by the moon. We always see the same side, but that doesn't mean that it's locked. So we always see the same face of the moon, but not because it doesn't rotate. The moon does rotate once per orbit. This is called tidal locking. Over time, Earth and the moon locked into this balance. The moon isn't frozen, it's perfectly synchronized. The moon is drifting away from us. The moon is moving at about 3.8 centimeters away from us per year, caused by energy transfer from the Earth's rotation. In the distant future, total solar eclipses will disappear. Now, we had something that happened a few years ago, and I'm not going to look it up and pause it and Google it to sound smart. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty flipping insane. You didn't want to look at the moon, you didn't want to look at the sun. I think it was a lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse. It was something. It got really dark, and depending on where you were in the world, it went completely effing dark, like it was midnight dark. And it was pretty extreme and actually got really cold for about 10, 15 seconds. It's just something I'm never going to forget. I was in my backyard and I was just like, holy shit, this was like Twilight Zone. And it was just absolutely amazing. And these are some of the little things, again, trying to understand how these little things that happen that made me want to get into this stuff seriously. And it's what sparked my interest more and more, that fed the hunger for this type of stuff. And the more I read, and I go, okay. And then it's just like a overwhelming overload of information, and it just gets me really hyper, as you could see, and I'm just like full blown into it like I've never been into anything else in my whole life. So in the distant future, it helps if I could speak properly, total solar eclipses will actually disappear. We actually right now live in a rare cosmic moment where these eclipses are even possible to begin with. That's sad. But the moon is also like a time capsule. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere or plate tectonics. Ancient impacts are preserved for billions of years. The surface records early solar system history. Studying the moon helps us understand Earth's past. The moon remembers what the Earth has forgotten. The moon affects more than just water. The moon doesn't just pull on oceans, it also affects Earth itself. Earth's crust rises and falls slightly due to lunar gravity. Human-made structures will actually subtly flex because of lunar tides. That's pretty wild. So even the atmosphere experiences lunar effects. The moon's influence reaches deeper than we feel. The moon isn't just something we look at, it's something that's constantly shaping us quietly, constantly, and powerfully. From the oceans to the lengths of our days, from the stability of our planet to the history of the solar system, the moon has been working in the background this entire time. Now I want to elaborate on that point that I mentioned just for my VIPs. Early life may never have evolved without tidal zones, I said earlier. So why tidal zones may have been essential for early life? Concentration of life's building blocks. Early Earth's oceans were vast and dilute, and that's a problem for chemistry. Organic molecules need to bump into each other to react. In open oceans, they're too spread out. Tidal pools repeatedly evaporated and refilled, concentrating chemicals. This concentration made complex chemistry far more likely because of the moon. Wet-dry cycles drive complex chemistry. Life didn't appear all at once, it emerged through gradual chemical steps. Tides create repeating wet-dry cycles. Drying helps bond molecules together like amino acids and nucleotides. Re-wetting allows those molecules to interact again. These cycles are excellent natural reaction engines, if you will, for early life chemistry. So the formation of early membranes. Life needs boundaries, membranes to separate inside from outside. So fatty acids naturally form bubble-like membranes in shallow waters. Tidal pools help stabilize these structures. And repeated exposure toughens and refines primitive membranes. This may be how the first cell-like structures actually formed. Energy from the sunlight, of course, tidal zones sit right at the interface between land, sea, and sky. Sunlight provided the energy for the chemical reactions. UV light can drive molecular changes. Shallow water allowed light penetration without destroying everything. So this created an energetic environment perfect for experimentation by nature itself. Chemical diversity in one place. Tidal zones are chemically rich. Minerals from the land wash into pools. Salt water brings dissolved ions. Heat, light, and chemistry all mix in a small area. Early life likely needed this chemical variety to even get started. Natural selection begins early. Tidal zones are harsh environments. Temperature swings, salinity changes, periodic drying. Any early molecule or protocell that survived these stresses were more stable, a primitive form of natural selection before true life even existed. So why the moon matters here? Well, without the moon, tides would be much weaker. Like I said, stable repeating tidal zones might not even exist. Fewer wet, dry cycles equals fewer opportunities for complex chemistry. The moon didn't create life directly, but it may have created the conditions that allowed life to emerge as we see it today. And there you have it. Almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about. Imagine if I could say all of that while looking into your eyes. That day may never happen, but you know what? I'm tired of making excuses. Like I said, this is more like a learn with me. Not claiming to be a walking Wikipedia. You know what I mean? I'm a humble guy. I don't know too much, but the stuff that I do know that I do have memorized, holy macaroni and cheese. It's phenomenal. There's just so much more to life. I know it sounds corny than I ever thought. Because like I said before, I used to just look up in the sky and be like, oh yeah, some twinkly stars. Whatever. Okay, cool. Tiny little white stuff. Then I find out that like those stars have probably burnt out hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago, but the light hasn't reached us yet. That's current. So we're technically looking in the past when we're looking up at the night sky. Just like little things like that. And that technically speaking, without the stars, we never would have existed. So our ancestors are literally the stars. We are star children. Like, holy shitballs. There's just mind-blowing stuff. I could go on all day, and you know what? I don't want to. I'm just glad that I made this video. I wasn't going to make it, honestly, because like I said, I was nervous. I was like, this is going to be crap. People will know I'm predominantly reading off of my notes, but that's okay because I made it very clear in the very beginning. And if obviously that's not something you like, you want somebody that's just able to ramble and rant off the top of their head because they know everything in here already, well then obviously I'm not the person for you. With that said, thanks for stopping by. A thumbs up if you did like the video, as it does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me a little bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up. It's a lot more than just a happy feel-good moment I get seeing 2 or 3 likes on one of my videos. It actually affects YouTube going, oh, 4 people like this video. All right, fine. Let's crank up the algorithm a little bit and make it so maybe 8 or 9 people can see it. And if you didn't like the video, that's fine. Go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half and twist it. And if you want to subscribe, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.